try to solve the Leetcode problem, slowest key. So this seems to be a pretty easy problem. We are given like two arrays, kind of a thing, like one character and one integer array, and we need to find out which character key was pressed for the longest period of time. So it's basically simple. Like if we are at C, so it would be 0 to 9. So and then when we are at B, so it would be like 9 to 29, and so on for the other keys. The only thing to note here is, suppose like if this particular C, so instead of like 9, it starts from 29, and then so on and so forth. The maximum key value still would be C because it would have 20. So we need to make sure that like we retain like highest possible value for each key is pressed. So it would be a straightforward, since like we are only having lowercase English letters. So let's create a dictionary type of an array that would be of, and we'll initialize with this like 26 letters of English. And then what we want is like, so we want like to iterate over the release time. So we like, let's say iterate over length of release time, then with an increment of 1, and we also need to initialize the dictionary array. So let's take so SI value of 1 would be like ORD of A, because we're going to access this a lot, so let's load it into a variable. Then for the first index, so basically like for the 0th place we need to subtract 0 from it, and for every subsequent we need to subtract I minus 1. So when we are at P, so we need to subtract 23 minus 12, and but when we are at S, we need to have SS12 itself. So for that default case, what we will do, we will have and key pressed would be ORD of this minus SI value of A, because since we are having like characters dictionary array, so each index would represent one letter. So 0 would represent A, followed by B, and so on and so forth. So Z would be represented by 25, like that. So negating the values, we will initialize this with release time of 0. So since release time cannot be less than 1, so we need not to take care of like the base case scenario. So that's fine. And then what we want is we would like to do the same thing, where in our dictionary we would be populating the value, but we would be making sure the value is maximum. So that is the only additional step that we need to make sure. And what we want is we want like to have like release time I, and then we would like to have release time I minus 1. So like this we can have. So basically this logic will take care of populating our dictionary, and then afterwards this is executed. So what we can do is we can iterate over our dictionary till from the right hand side, and we can have like two variables like max length, that is 0, and max. Okay, let's initialize with this as A. So these are like temporary allocations. So we are making, but it is sure that there will be some value. So maximum length would be always greater than 0, and same goes for character A. So it will get automatically assigned. And since we are traversing it from 25 from the very end, so it will take care of like lexicographical orders also. So since in this first example, we need to take care like V and C both have like 20. So if we see here, but we are having C as an output because C is greater in lexicographical order. So that's why. So here we can just like have an if condition. If maximum length is less than of I, then what we can do is if max of length is equals to net of I plus dict of so this would be like I itself. So what we are going to do is like we are making this as char, so it would be I plus SI value of A. So this will get plussed up and we will get like max char. So then we can return like max char itself. Let's run this. So there is a runtime error. What it says, ORD expected a character but string of length 4. Okay, so what we did here is like we need to pass 0, same goes here, we need to pass I, and same goes here, we need to pass I. So let's have it like this. Now let's run this. So once I see, that's fine. Now let's submit this up and see if it's correct. Cool. So the main thing here, like the edge cases would be first of all in terms of like we need to make sure we are taking the maximum value for each and every character. So that has been resolved from this particular part. The second edge case would be to make sure like we are having the lexicographical orders. So this is also been done. And the third case would be suppose in case of a type. So then what we will do? So we need not to update. So that basically is. So we are not updating here like in case of a tie. So we are making sure we take only if we are changing the value only if maximum length is less. So that's pretty much it. It was on an easy side basis, a simple kind of an array questions we could say. Cool. Let's see tomorrow what is there.